Good morning, everyone. This is Monday, March 20th. I just want to give you a brief overview of where you should be in your process right now as you begin to settle down in the focus area that you are planning to do your paper in, and also starting to look for the literature. So I've been responding to multiple discussion boards of people that have put up what area they plan to work in and some of the initial target disciplines that you might want to include. Today, I'm just going to speak a little bit about where you should be in the process and also talk a little bit about using the matrix that has been designed for you to do your literature review. So by now, you should have settled in on your focus area and the problem within that focus area, which I'll speak about in a minute, and starting to collect the literature that is going to inform that project that you're working on. A little bit about how you might get your head around getting started. I've heard from several of you that it's a little hard to sort of focus in on what exactly it is you want to work on. I do know from experience that many of you are dealing with some possible work-related problems that require some transformational leadership and change. And that would be a perfect way to begin a paper to talk about a particular problem you're having in your workplace. Or you could even talk about a problem that exists, even hypothetically. So one way you could get yourself into the process of understanding how to apply the literature from this course and also the literature that you're amassing as part of your matrix is to place yourself in a specific problem in your topical area. I also think it's a good idea to come up with a title that will keep you focused so that you're not just generally speaking about the focal areas that you've chosen, but you're more specifically speaking to a particular problem. I find sometimes you can change that title many times, but I find if you write the title, excuse me, if you write out the title, it sort of helps you stay focused. So this week, you should be providing feedback to colleagues by Friday. So as you have seen, some of your classmates have already done that. It's very helpful, I think, to provide feedback and also get feedback from your peers and not just from me, because you can help each other and also maybe think of something that you yourself had not thought of on your own. Be sure to complete any readings from week 1 and 2 that you have not completed. Focus on your literature review. Use the Health Sciences Rapid Review Matrix, which we'll go through in a minute, to capture your notes. This will be deliverable as well, so you're not doing busy work, you're actually putting pen to something that will be turned in. And of course, you can always reach out to me. I have one-on-ones this week with some people. It's optional. You don't have to set up a one-on-one with me. I will also be setting up a couple collaborate sessions or Zoom sessions in the course of the semester so we can meet as a group. I know it's really hard with all the different time zones we're dealing with, people's work schedules, et cetera, to find the perfect time to meet. But I'm going to try to provide at least a couple options. So if you do need face-to-face, we can discuss the progress of your assignments in those meetings and as a group. So if there's shared problems, we can deal with them together. So let me just take a moment and speak about what this rapid review template is all about and why we even have you do it. So as you recall, in the very beginning of the course, Dr. Bacchino shared how this matrix is meant to help you organize the literature you're looking for. We've given you a couple examples here of how you can use the matrix. These are just examples. You're not going to use these. Well, maybe you will. I'm not sure. But I don't think we have any projects in this class that that center around these. But if you look closely, that first column, column A, is going to be the search term or disciplinary area that you're using to find this literature. Okay, so if you're working in artificial intelligence and data management, that might be a search term combination. If you're working in an area more related to change and transformational leadership, those might be search terms. So this is where you're going to keep track of how you are searching the literature. Where should you be searching for the literature? You can use a number of resources. You can use our library to search. If you've never been to the library site, you can very easily, if you go to Libraries and Academic Innovation at George Washington University, you'll be brought to the libraries page. Some of you may use Google Scholar. Some of you may use Web of Science or other types of search engines. Maybe you're looking for literature within NIH, and then you can search the NIH library. What you should not be relying on is random information from the internet. So be sure that you are capturing articles that are peer-reviewed, meaning scientists have reviewed each other's work to publish that work, that it's from a credible source, like a well-known journal, maybe even a journal that's part of a society that you're part of. But what we're not looking for are things like YouTube citations, not looking for random materials that you just might find on a website, for instance, on the internet. We're looking for peer-reviewed, evidence-based literature, okay? Of course, this is just all for the purpose of organization. You're going to let us know the authors and the journal that this article is from, the year it was published, and the purpose and the objective of the article. So it could be research, in which case you would just say here, the purpose of this paper is to do research on a particular topic, and might even write out what the findings of that research are. If it's more conceptual or theoretical, or you're using it for a construct, like some of the readings you have in the course on change and leadership, the purpose there is to provide some sort of construct for you to be able to work on the problem that's associated with your topic, okay? We want you to list the discipline or disciplines that the paper is drawing on. It might be clinical research, it might be regulatory affairs, it might be patient-centered care, could be whatever, come from the disabilities community, et cetera, et cetera. So we want you to list down, and don't be surprised if there's 2 or 3 or 4 different areas of disciplinary engagement in that article. The conclusions, or in other words, what are the key takeaways from it? This is going to help you and me to understand why this article or chapter in a book, or whatever the case may be, is useful to you. And as you can see, you want to be pretty specific. So what did you get out of it? What did you learn from it? Did you learn a particular finding that is important? Did you learn a method that was utilized? Did you learn information that you were unaware of and that it supports your paper that you're working on? In the comments area, we want you to sort of evaluate, and you don't have to go into length, but was the evaluation of was your evaluation of the article positive? So for instance, you'll see here on this article that has to do with acupuncture. Article is well supported by literature, trial design and outcomes described clearly, pertinent to search topic, okay? This is written a little differently. Accelerated designation, great, but for complex diseases with complex understanding of the clinical benefit, many sponsors may not be able to take advantage of the designation. So you're writing in here your thoughts on the power or the lack of power, you might want to look at it that way, of the article. Now, this matrix may include many more articles or book chapters or books than you will use in your paper, and that's okay, because you're probably going to need to search more papers than you're actually going to use, more literature than you're actually going to use in your final white paper. But this sheet is both so that I understand that you're using organized, well-represented and supported literature to help you with your own project, but also it's meant to help you stay organized. So when it comes to writing, you can sort of look at this as your notes and understand why you chose a particular author to cite or an article to cite. So use this matrix as you now continue to search for that literature that's going to support your paper. The last thing I want to say is when you, excuse me, before I go on, some people have asked me how many citations are appropriate for this size paper. There's no right or wrong answer here. I think for this size paper, 10 to 12 cited articles is probably appropriate. If you want to do more than that, that's fine. I wouldn't do less than that because it means that you really haven't done a real great job of reviewing the literature. And of course, you want to use a literature that's most helpful to the point you're making in your white paper in the end. Lastly, I want to just take a moment to look at the grading rubrics. It's always a really good idea to look at the rubrics to make sure that you're on track. So you probably want to read the rubric first, and it explains here what's the expectation is for the assignment. This is the assessment of literature search, assignment number 2, and how your assignment will be evaluated and graded. So be sure that you look at this. Oftentimes have students who will come back and not understand why they didn't get full points for a particular part of an assignment. And what I usually do is go to the rubric and say, well, you didn't use all the columns in the matrix, which is what is being asked for here. Or you might have done some critical assessment, but it was thin or a little weak. At this point in your career, finishing out your master's degree, no matter what degree it is, you should be able to do some review of literature and application of the literature to a problem that you've identified. The idea here in this course is that we have taken away a lot of the distractions that go into some courses, and have given you a lot of time to work on your paper and to share the development of it with me and your classmates. It is that very thing, your ability to work independently on a project that has a given end, that we are assessing. So if you are struggling, I'm always going to ask you to really look closely at what's been provided to you, especially in the rubrics, in the overviews that Dr. Bacchino and or I are leaving you with, so that when we meet, or if you meet in a group, or you meet at a Zoom meeting, you're actually coming with your own questions and not simply relying on me to sort of say, this is what you should be doing right now, but rather let's get beyond what you should be doing and let's get into the development of the paper. So if anyone has any questions or concerns about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I try to be pretty quick on returns on discussion boards, as you probably have seen. I can't guarantee that all the time, but I definitely try my best to do that. So I hope that gets you off to a good start this week. Again, I have some one-on-one slots still available. If that's something that you'd like to do, please let me know. Some of the slots have been filled up already. And I look out for an announcement from me regarding the Zoom sessions we'll be having in the evening next week and 2 weeks after that. So you have the opportunity to be able to share with me and your classmates where you are, where your pinch points are, and ask questions and so forth. So I hope everyone has a really great week, and I look forward to seeing some of you this week and, of course, hearing you on the boards. Thank you. Goodbye.